And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand? Everybody say, and if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God, come on, sing it out loud. Then what could stand? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand? Come on, say, and if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand against? Woo! Then what could stand against? Say, our God is greater. Say, our God is greater. Our God is stronger. Got you higher than any. Oh yeah, our God is here. Awesome in power. Somebody lift those hands in this place. Our God is greater. Say, our God is greater. Our God is stronger. Got you higher than any. Our God is healer. Yeah. And if our God is for us, everybody sing. Say, and if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what could stand? And if our God, yeah, then who could ever stop us? Say, and if our God is with us, then what could stand against? Then what could stand against? Say, our God is greater. Woo! Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. Say, got you higher than any. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. I wanna sing it one more time. Our God is greater. Our God is greater. Oh yeah, got you higher than any. Our God is healer.
It is time for Yes with Yesse. Please welcome your host, Yesenia Leyva.
Good. Good evening, new season. Good evening. Thank you for joining Yes with Yesse. I see you guys coming in, and I know now that I can hear myself. You guys can hear me? Good evening. Welcome to Yes with Yesse. Another Thursday afternoon, 6 o'clock here, Eastern Standard Time. And we're just going to be here hanging out for a little bit, have a little conversation, a little bit of music, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, as we have another episode of Yes with Yesse, where we talk all things community, inclusion of individuals with disabilities, services, what's going on, and things that we need to know to grow in community, grow in services, and grow in who we are as a person, and grow as poor, of course, and who we are and who God has intended us to be, regardless of that which makes us different, as in the case of many people like myself that live with differences every single day. So thank you again for joining Yes with Yesse. Samara, I see you. I see you. Thank you for joining. And as you come in, please go ahead and share the broadcast. Let others know that we are here on Yes with Yesse, o Sí con Yesse. Sí con Yesse. Buenas tardes a todos que nos están escuchando alrededor del mundo en el World Wide Web, en el Internet, aquí en Facebook, en YouTube, donde quiera que estén. Buenas noches, buenas tardes, buenos días, good morning, good afternoon, good night. And so we are here. Aquí estamos en una plataforma para hablar, conversar, todo lo que tiene que ver con discapacidad y la diversidad de personas. Y como somos tan diferentes, pero también somos iguales, y todos somos seres humanos, right? We're all different, yet we're all the same. We all bleed red. We're all humans. So that's what we are all about here on Yes with Yesse. And it is March. It is March 14. The month is halfway over. And so time flies, right? Time flies when you're having fun. It is March, and March is known as Developmental Disability Month. Developmental Disability Month. And I look forward to, I believe it's next week that I get to go and receive a proclamation with the local city around here, actually, in Sunrise. So I'm looking forward to that and having that conversation of Developmental Disability Day and what it represents in my life, and just talk about the services and things that I do in front of a group of people that perhaps are not familiar with me, with what I do, and with what people with developmental disabilities live on a day-to-day basis. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be an awesome time, and so it is Developmental Disability Month. It is graduation time. It is prom time, prom season. It is so many things, right? And when I think about what all this month and the upcoming month, so March, April, May, May, you have graduation time for sure. Seniors out of school, and so all of that just really is a time of that celebration of achievement, right? The celebration of achievements that a lot of times as people with disabilities don't get the opportunity to participate in, being that they're out of school, they didn't get the opportunity to graduate, they did not get the opportunity to be included in a traditional prom time, if you will. And Samara, absolutely, I'll get you the information as soon as I know the day, time, and location. I'll give it to you. And so it's a busy time. It's a busy time, yet it's a busy time where a lot of times people with disabilities are not included in these different things, like prom, for example. There's a popular prom I've talked about before where it's only for people with disabilities, and I don't like that. I don't agree with that. To a point, I do and I don't. It's kind of one of those weird situations where I do and I don't, because I understand the purpose of it, but I also believe in in that social inclusion where these individuals should be included with accommodation and with provision of the services and supports in your traditional prom night, right? And prom is one time. Prom is one day, one night, and a lot of times, a lot of our kiddos get to go multiple times. So I don't know. It's a little controversial for me in a sense, because I have a different perspective about it. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good as long as that we get that opportunity and have fun. I remember for my prom, I'm like, Mom, I need $100 or whatever it was. We have a limo. I'm going to go with so-and-so, and I need a dress, and that's it. So I was a different case. I had everything already set in stone. I just needed the money to get it done. I went to prom. I had fun. We got kicked out. It was awesome. And I think that that's an experience that everyone, regardless of disability, should definitely have. Because it's a great experience, and an experience that you only live once. A lot of times you only live once, and so why not, right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So tonight, guys, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to listen to a little bit of music, not too much, and we're just going to talk, like we were saying, what March represents with the developmental disabilities month celebration, graduation time, prom time, and all of that, and what skills. Before we get to that as seniors in the school system with disabilities, what are the skills that we should know, that we should kind of master or have mastered before we get to that point of graduation, senior time, and those different celebrations, right? I think that looks different for different people. That list of what should I be good at? What should my son or daughter be good at before they graduate the school system? That looks different for everyone, depending on the levels of abilities, depending on the diagnosis, and all these different things. So we're going to just go over a couple of those skills that a lot of times we say, well, my son or my daughter graduated high school, they should already have this skill mastered, and so now they're going to go on up to the next thing, right? Unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I believe that a lot of the skills that we want to acquire ourselves or want our sons and daughters to acquire, a lot of those skills are acquired in community living. Inclusion, as I always advocate for, is that inclusion of individuals with disabilities in community living, and living in community and the different aspects of community, right? You have employment, you have education, and you have elementary, middle school, high school, post-secondary education. You have the employment world. You have the social recreational activities world. You have so many aspects of community that I think it's important for us to have those important skills, social skills, communication skills, to know how to interact in those different environments appropriately, right? I feel like we have the opportunity to provide that training in a school setting, in a traditional school setting, that is. And so I believe, one, we don't have a regular school setting that can provide all of that. It's a lot. However, we as community agencies, entities, community centers, we should definitely work together with the school system to provide these services to our students to better help them obtain and increase in these skills before they exit the school system. Otherwise, they exit the school system, they find somebody like one of us to provide a service, and we have to kind of backtrack and start from zero, all the way to the backtrack from zero, from wherever they were to now. It's kind of like what happened when COVID happened. We have so many students regressing because they lost so many skills. They lost so many skills during COVID. No therapy, no social skills. They were, all of us, we were all locked in the house. And so when life happened again and COVID was kind of sort of over, and everybody's out in the community again, they were coming to us like, okay, remember those skills that we learned before COVID? We need to relearn them. And it was tough. It was very tough. So that's why all of this is important, and learning the skills of the social skills and the relating with the peers and all these things before graduating high school, but also having an extension of those services and those trainings after high school. It's super duper important. So we're going to talk about that. I already mentioned some of those different skills, but we'll talk a little bit more about those skills and discussions that we should have with our students, our young adults, even our kids. Transition now is super young. It's considered super young. Yet it used to be 22 and up, and now it's, I believe, 12, 13 years old when our students are considered, in that age of transition. And so I think it's important that we start from super young, talking about that topic of transition, from youth to adulthood, from children to teenagers to youth, and who are you? As we talk about that, who are, helping our kids discover who they are. This is who you are, regardless of everything. This is who you are. This is what makes you a human being, right? And so those are the different topics that we want to definitely touch on with our sons, daughters, students, mentees, etc., before they exit the school system and before they get into adolescence or teenage years and then going into adulthood, right? It's never too young to have these conversations, never too young, never too early to have these conversations. So it's definitely something that I love to focus on with our students, because you just never know. You might be the only person, I might be the only person that has these conversations with them. So it's definitely a goal always to instill these things, these goals, and these social skills, and all these different sense of self assurance, advocacy, and all of that to our young adults. So I'm going to continue just right after this, and I hope you guys like this song because I love it and I'm excited. If you follow me on social media, you'll know why. Take a listen. Our God Reigns. Our God Reigns, one of my ultimate favorites, of course, Israel Hilton. Alrighty, guys. So let's go back to the topic a little bit. We're going to talk about, it's March, Developmental Disability Month awareness. And what does that all mean, right? It's graduation time and all of that. So what are the skills? What are some of the skills that we should be instilling in our students to make sure that, to enhance, I should say, their success, our success in society, right? And so we talk about social skills. So I'm just going to go run through some of those skills that we should definitely implement and work more towards implementing and working on when we're still in the school system versus when we're exiting out. 22 years old, right? 21, 22, you're exiting out, no more school, you're home. You're either going to an adult day training center program, you're going to employment services, or you're staying at home. It depends on what you're doing and what services you have available to you at that particular time, right? Or to your children, that is. So what do you feel are the most important skills a student with disabilities should have when graduating high school? Social skills. Social skills is very important. How to interact in different environments is very important. Just because your son, daughter, neighbor has a particular disability does not mean that they cannot learn certain skills according to their level to be successful in different social environments, whether it's with family, whether it's on the job, whether it's in school, in a classroom, whether it's coming to church. I'm one of those that believes that all people can definitely learn and can do something. Is every environment appropriate to every single person with a particular disability? No, unfortunately. In my world, maybe, but no, it's not, realistically speaking. So social skills. Do they know how to use their inner voice? Do they know how to use proper behavior? Can they sit down, sit nicely like we tell them all the time? Relating to peers. Do they have that social communication, that social need to relate to peers? Do they know the difference, when somebody has similarities versus when somebody has differences? What's your favorite color? Do we like the same color? Do we like the same foods? Do we like to play the same game? You like to play in the playground? Maybe I don't like to play in the playground because I don't like sand. I don't like sand. The main reason I don't go to the beach is because I do not like the sand. I say I feel the sand like weeks after I go to the beach, right? So that's not my favorite thing. I love the beach, but I don't love the sand. So relating to the different activities and things that we like to do, ultimately relating to peers or not. Can your son, your daughter do that? When we talk about the most important skills that students with disabilities should have when graduating high school. Now we're talking about transitioning from high school. So we're not talking about children, we're talking about adults, adult age individuals or children in a sense, depending on the level of ability. So are they able to advocate for their own needs and wishes? Are they able to advocate for their own needs and wishes, relating to peers and the service provider, those wherever they get the service from, and also social skills, right? So we talked about the social skills. So when it comes to advocating for their own needs and their own wishes, do they know how to do that? I have 3 things. Who are you? What do you have to offer? And why should people care? That's what I always just try to instill and teach the students that I work with. Who are you? What do you have to offer? And why should people care? Who are you is who are you? Who's Jesse, right? What is Jesse all about? What do you have to offer? What are things that have to do with Jesse that you have to offer? What is it even that makes you different from the rest of the people? What are your needs? What are the services that you need? All of that has to do with self. Who are you? What you have to offer? And why should people care? Why should people want to know about me? Let's say about Jesse. Why should people want to know? Why should people be curious? Why should people want to help you? Should you need any kind of assistance or anything like that? I once upon a time was I can do everything myself and I'm going to be independent and I don't need anybody. That's the kind of the mindset that we are kind of raised to have by society. Like, you can do it on your own. But then you start to realize or learn that you don't have to do things alone. You don't have to do life alone. It's okay to use those in the community, as we do, right? We use community partners. We use services in the community. We attend school college, work, church. That's all a part of your community. So knowing who your community is and how you can work together with them to meet your needs. Sometimes literally it's just the need of being included in something, feeling a sense of self-worth, like I'm doing something, right? I know that that's been a thing for me because a lot of times we are isolated, we're kind of left out, and so that sense of community inclusion in the community and belonging and knowing that you're good at something matters to people, especially when we're always kind of told otherwise or feel otherwise because we're different, because we don't do things like everybody else. So all of that matters. All of that matters. So again, social skills, relating to peers and service providers, advocating for your own needs and your own wishes as well. And the rest of the people around us realizing that we do have our own wishes. You know, it's not all one size fits all type of thing. We do have our own wishes. And that is okay. That's necessary, right? That is definitely necessary. And successfully then engaging in community activities of all kinds, including employment, as we talked about. Employment, training programs, or maybe it's furthering your education, right? So successfully engaging in community activities of all kinds, including employment, including church, including church. And one of the things that I advocate for now more than ever, because my mindset has shifted in a good way after learning so much, that I am a child of God, that I do need to be spiritually filled. Hence why I come to church. And I listen to the word and the Bible study. And I write notes because I know that's the way where I'm going to remember. And so I want to encourage you all that I don't care what your disability is. We all belong somewhere. And find where that somewhere is. And God wants you to seek him. He wants you to seek him. He wants you to talk to him. He wants you to pray to him. He wants you to find a place of worship where you feel like you belong. So do that. And you'll see that when you do that, if you're thinking, I'm missing something, I'm empty, I'm so upset, I'm always depressed, find a home church that you feel that you belong, that you're there because you have a connection with God. You want to pray, you have that connection. Come to New Season. I invite you to come to New Season and just experience the experience of worship on a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. It's pretty awesome. And so not only because you're coming to a building, right? It's more than that. It's a family. It's a place of worship. It's a place where you connect with people and you make friends. It's a place where, you have someone like myself and so many others, like services, information, resources. You never know what somebody does, right? You never know what they do. You never know what they know. And you won't know unless you ask. You will not know unless you ask, right? But before you ask, you have to know people. You have to make it okay to meet people and get comfortable and be ready and be okay with being uncomfortable in different scenarios. We don't think about that, right? Being uncomfortable. It's important to be uncomfortable sometimes to grow. So successfully engaging in community activities of all kinds, including employment, church, education, social activities, whatever that means to you, and discussing your goals. I think it's very important that we give each other the opportunity, if we are parents, if we are caregivers, if we are service providers, giving others that we serve the opportunity to discuss their goals, their interests, their social strengths, their weaknesses without judgment. It's very important. Their weaknesses without judgment, because we all have them, and to network. All of that develops your network, and that's what we need. You're right. Your network is your net worth, as we tend to hear in the community. It's very important. So good evening, Sister Jolette. Thank you so much for joining tonight on Yes with Yesse. And so those are a couple of the things that I wanted to mention to you guys tonight. Is what do you feel are the most important skills a student, really any student, right? But in this case, students with disabilities and students with differences should have when graduating high school. And if you think about it, and we talked about social skills, we talked about relating with peers, the service providers, advocating for your needs and your own wishes in your life, successfully engaging in community activities of all kinds, including employment, discussing your student goals, your personal goals, or your son and daughter's goals, interests, and social strengths and networking. That relates to everybody, disability or not, right? And so when I think about that, why is it that so many times as people with disabilities and differences, we think that we're exempt from that? We're not. Of course, again, it has to do with the level. I currently work with a level or a group of students of a little bit lower functioning, but they all have wants, they all have needs, they all have talents, skills, abilities. They all make sure that I understand them the best way that they can, and they get frustrated when I don't, because they have a voice. They have a need that they want to express. And so that's what I work to instill in all of them, and all of the students, young adults, regardless of the age that cross my path, is that all of those skills are important skills for all of our students to have prior to graduating high school and beyond graduating high school. So that's very important that we definitely instill that in all of our children, regardless of the disability, and regardless of the age. If they're old enough to understand one of those skills, let's embrace it and let's teach them from early on. And I know that a lot of parents that I speak to, including today, actually, interestingly enough, before coming to the station, that's what they're looking for. So if you're an organization out there, an entity, a company that works in this kind of work, if you will, with growth and development and all of that, I would encourage you to, again, we go back to include curriculums that also put a focus on individuals with disabilities, because we all have the same need. We just learn differently, or we just, it's a tad different, but it's the same need. And so it's definitely important that we reach out to the community as a whole and not just a specific group of people. And so that's what I love to do. That's what I love to do, and encourage to all of my students of all ages that I come across. If you visit Yes with Yesse, Yes with Yesse, just like the show, yeswithyesse.com, or on all social media platforms, you'll see a little bit of all of my crazy with all the students and shows and activities that we get to do to promote these skills in their life. And it makes a difference. It makes all the difference in the world. And so on that note, if you guys visit Yes with Yesse, like I said, you guys will see the different things that I do and services. And if you guys or anyone you know needs services, let us know. Reach out, send a note, send a message here on the social media platforms. And I know I would love to have a conversation and see how we can best provide that service to you. So that's what we are all about here at New Season. It's all community, right? So yeswithyesse.com, Yes with Yesse across all social media platforms. And you don't have to do this life alone. All right, just remember that you don't have to do this thing called life alone. You don't have to do this thing called life alone, because you were not meant to.
Nada mejor, no hay nada, nada mejor que mi Dios. Oh, sí, oh, no hay nada, nada mejor, no hay nada, no, nada mejor, oh, hay nada, nada mejor que mi Dios. Y no pudo llenarme ningún tesoro que pueda ganar me saciará. Mas llegaste tú y me diste nueva vida, y me diste vida nueva. Cada deseo se cumplirá aquí, aquí en tu amor. No hay nada, nada mejor, no hay nada.
No hay nada mejor que mi Dios, nothing better than our God. Absolutely, that's for sure. Good evening, Sister Marcia. Thank you so much for joining, and everyone else that has come along the way. Thank you for joining another episode of Yes with Yesse here on New Season Gospel FM. Thank you. And as we're talking about, what do we feel are the most important skills that a student should have when graduating high school? The social skills, the relating with one another, with their community, with their people, advocating for themselves. Advocating for themselves is a huge one for me because I think that if we don't have our own voice and we don't advocate for ourselves, then what else is there? How can we help ourselves? In turn, how can we help the other person, next to us? Successfully engaging in community activities of all kinds, community, employment, social skills, all of that stuff. And of course, discussing the students' goals. Discuss the goals with the student themselves, with the person themselves that goes through these experiences on a day-to-day basis. Their goals, their likes, dislikes, what makes them happy, sad, or angry even. Social strength and weaknesses is very important. It's not all about just the strengths, right? But it's about the weaknesses and what we can do to make that better, to make those things better. And so sometimes I think too that my question would be, does the system work for us or against us as the people living these disabilities and different things? And unfortunately, I would say that sometimes the system definitely works against us because of the mindset. It's all about mindset. It's all about the education and perspective of what disability is, what those differences are, and what does it mean to the person and to society. So sometimes I do think that it is against us more than it is for us because of the lack of services, the lack of funding, in turn, lack of services and all that good stuff. So that is a whole nother conversation for another day, but I do think that the system as a whole is not always for us. As a matter of fact, it is more against us than that it is for us, which is why we advocate so much to make a change and for there to be change from a higher up, from the big boys, right? So that we can then trickle that change down to our local level. But I think oftentimes it works the opposite, and it works sometimes, going from the local level up, but we need to come together. We need to come together to make that change and to push that change higher and further to where there can actually be a decision made on that particular subject to make a change. I know that I can't do it alone. And I've been advocating for so long, technically my entire life, that sometimes, people that have that opportunity to make a change needs different, fresh faces, right? To see that, okay, it's not just her, it's not just one person, it is so many others that need that change alongside her. So that's what I think is definitely important. I won't stop advocating. You guys already know that. But I do feel, again, that we have to come together, and there has to be more people willing to join the cause and join that march to make that change. And so it is not until we do that, and it is not until we put our own differences aside, and it's not until we share more of our testimony and our story that is going to actually change. No one should depend on the next person to make this change. It's dependent on you yourself to make that change, or at least to put your little, as we say, granito de arena, your little 2 cents in that particular subject to make that change. Very needed and very, very, very important to do that. And so let's do that. Let's work, if you have that ability to work with the students in any way to make that change, to provide that sense of education and that sense of self-awareness, that's where we can start. So that then the next step would be for that student, that family, that parent, that caregiver to make that change further where necessary in that student's life, in that person's life, right? I say student and student, participant, whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, they are members of the community, because we are members of the community, we deserve to have the rights and be included like everybody else, right? According to what we can do, our levels of talents, skills, and abilities, regardless of that disability. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's very, very important. I learned something else very recently. I was looking up articles and different things. I go on to this this page called Disability Scoop a lot, and it just tells you all things disability, what's happening, and cool stuff. So this was interesting to me because we have the affiliation with like all the islands and Kenya and all that good stuff. So in Kenya, there is a sign language choir. I can't wait to see this. It is a sign language choir that helps churches embrace the deaf culture. That's so cool. And so what they're doing is, it's called the Zion Praise Team, and the choir masters the hymns and worship songs in American Sign Language. And they travel to different churches just around Eastern Africa countries. I think that's really cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm always in the mindset that there's nothing in that side of the world. So apparently there is. So if you have a chance, look it up. It is called the what was it called? The Sign Language Choir in Kenya, called the Zion Praise Team. Zion Praise Team. I'm gonna look it up later. It's so cool. So that's the goal, guys. That's the goal, to have these conversations, and you never know what aspires from it and where it will take you. So it's always an awesome thing. So thank you guys once again for joining Yes with Yesse. It's always fun to come on here and just talk a little bit of this, a little bit of that with you guys. And do me a favor, share the broadcast. Let others know that we are here. Let them know that we're here. We're here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday here on Yes with Yesse. All things community, and just advocating on the services, information, resources available to all people, including those with disabilities in our community and beyond. So Yes with Yesse. Share the broadcast. Let others know that we are here. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, New Season Gospel FM. New Season Gospel FM. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a beat and you know when we are on. And so today I will be logging off just a little bit earlier than usual. So thank you, Sister Marcia. I'm going to be logging off just a little bit earlier than usual tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and play my last song before our final announcements. And I will see you guys on another episode of Yes with Yesse, God willing, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on New Season Gospel FM.
When the Spirit of the Lord moves upon my heart, I will dance like David danced. When the Spirit of the Lord moves upon my heart, I will dance like David danced. I will dance, I will dance, I will dance like David danced. I will dance, I will dance, I will dance like David danced. Si el Espíritu de Dios está en mi corazón, yo danzo como David. Si el Espíritu de Dios está en mi corazón, yo danzo como David. Oh, yo danzo, yo danzo, yo danzo como David. Oh, yo danzo, yo danzo, yo danzo como David. Like David danced. When the Spirit of the Lord moves upon my heart, I will dance like David danced. I will dance, dance like David danced. I will dance, dance like David
no matter what life throws at you, I will dance. I will dance like David danced. Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining another episode of Yes with Yesse, here with you guys every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, tomorrow is Fun Friday. Fun Friday, starting with Pastor Henry in his presence prayer time, 6:30 a.m., followed by the Pastor Steve show, bright and early at 8 a.m. And then, of course, Minister Yesse comes on for midday prayer tomorrow, Friday, and then we do it all over again. So have an amazing rest of your day, and a happy Friday. And I look forward to seeing you guys. If you're in the area, 4660 North University Drive in Lauderhill on Sunday for church, 11 a.m. church time, and I'll be here on the other side of the camera with you guys, God's willing, on our Sunday morning service as well. So on that note, guys, again, thank you so much for joining. Let others know that we are here so they don't miss a beat, and I look forward to seeing you guys again for another episode of Yes with Yesse next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again for joining. Have an amazing rest of your evening, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for In His Presence alongside New Season Gospel FM. Have a great night.